Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Kathy, and I'm going to, this is probably going to be the most interesting and maybe one of the most damning videos yet. And in my opinion, I think it's going to show a conspiracy between 4 people, maybe 5. And one of them's not Patrick, by the way. But I believe I see a scam that 4 people are running and possibly 5. And I don't know how long this video is going to take, because I know even talking as fast as I can and just cutting corners on the clips, it still ends up sometimes to be a long time. So I'm going to try to do this efficiently, but really show you the big picture here. Now, the 4 that I think involved, and possibly 5, is Eric Carroll. Obviously, he's a ringleader. He's got his best friend here, Mark, from California. And he's got his other best friend here, Dwayne. Okay, now so far, and I'll show you the other 2. The 4th one here is Robert Mast. This is who they kept calling as the former Amish. The guy that we needed really bad. We need this guy to connect. We need this guy. He's the middleman to get us in the door of the Amish, okay? Because without this guy, we cannot talk to the Amish about building a house. Now, there's a possible 5th person in this, is a bishop. Okay, they keep talking about this bishop. Now, the Amish bishop, his job, he's like, okay, the Amish are very religious, and the bishop is like the leader of the religious stuff. I don't really know all of the details, but he's in charge of, he's the religious leader. Okay, so, but in this story with Eric and his buddies there, his cohorts, the bishop is the one that they have to go talk to get the okay on building the house. And if this bishop here, and they never name this bishop, okay, he's just the bishop that they need that Robert Mast in order to meet this bishop. So they want you to think that we need Eric because Eric knows Robert Mast, and Robert Mast can go to the Amish and they can get to this bishop guy, because this bishop guy is the only one that can approve this project for the log home. Now, the problem is this bishop guy is in another state. Okay, we don't know who he is. But so there's 4, and this is possible 5th conspirator. Now, real quick, the whole point of their story is they have to get to the bishop. Now, as you can see, a bishop is a male leader, most powerful figure in the Amish church district, serving as a primary spiritual guide, overseeing religious life, including weddings, baptisms, funerals. Anyway, but they say if we get to meet this bishop, he's the one that's going to approve that project about building the Whitaker's home. And this bishop here is going to take in all the donations. So that way, nobody will blame Eric for taking the money. Okay? But all the donations are going to go to this bishop. But they're not going to go into a bank because they don't really work like that. They have their own bank. And it's a bank that lots of people have their hands on. That's where they plan on putting all the donations. And this anonymous bishop is so convoluted. But this bishop here, so when you go to donate to the Whitaker's new home, it's going to go to him. And he doesn't have a bank. He runs his own bank with a lot of people's hands on it, okay? So wrap your mind around that. So this guy, Robert Mast, is the one who's going to get us to the bishop. And the only one that could have really pulled that off was Eric. Because Eric's the only one that knows this former Amish. Okay, so this former Amish guy, he's going to get us to the bishop. It's the only way to get the Whitakers a house, okay? And this guy's in another state too. Now, in order to pull this off, Robert Mast lives over here in Idaho, and Eric is over here in West Virginia at the Whitakers. And I think he's from Georgia. So he's already come up from Georgia to West Virginia. But now, because we must have this Amish house, which I'm going to do another video and just show you how literally, even with $1 million, it wouldn't happen. All right. And it doesn't even have to do with the flood. That's the flood plan or whatever. But here they are. Here's Eric in West Virginia. He just filed for the restraining order, which already let him stay there a week in West Virginia. And now that he's filed for this emergency restraining order that he never even showed up to, he's got 10 days to work on this meeting the bishop. So he gets one best friend up here, Robert Mast in Idaho, and he flies him in round trip. There, Robert Mast comes there. Then he also gets a hold of his friend over here, the one with the backwards hat on. His name is Mark, also known as Douche. He flies him in. So Mark gets flown in all too. So he's got all three of them now have flown into West Virginia to get together because they're going to meet the bishop. Okay. Now, the bishop, mind you, lives in another state. I can't remember if it's Pennsylvania or Kentucky. But they're going to, by the way, they all have rental cars. Okay. I know Eric's got one and I don't know who else does, but they're going to take a rental car and do all this, okay? So they're going to go to another state. Like I said, I can't remember which one. It was one of these surrounding states. And they're going to go with the others, all three of them. They're going to have, you got Eric, you got Robert Mast, and you got Mark from California. And all three of them are going to get in a rental car, and they're going to drive to Kentucky. And because they got Robert Mast with them, Robert Mast knows how to have the Amish people, because he used to be Amish. Robert Mast knows how to get the Amish people's attention, and he knows how to have them take them to their leader. All right? So I'm just letting you know this, because I'm going to play some clips. Okay, now keep in mind, Eric, Mark, and Dwayne are all best friends, okay? Dwayne here has already made a boatload of money selling software, making software, some kind of computer program for a Google website for the Whitaker. So, and then he's doing this podcast here, or this live stream with him. He's the one, and he's in on it too, 100%, because I've caught him doing hand signals and all this other stuff. And when they're the hard questions, anybody's calling him out. This one here, he's 100% in on it. He knows the questions to avoid and get rid of. He's over here in the chat blocking anybody who's on to what's going on. They've even done hand signals with Patrick, and I can show you that. I got that. So anyway, his job is so whenever anybody's got like a tough question come through, for example, this one here, this Dwayne here, not if either blocks it or any opposition, he laughs hysterically and tries to make it look like anything coming against him is ridiculous. So 100% he's into it. But him. So these three are best friends. And Eric's third best friend is this Robert Mast here, the one who, this is a former Amish who is pulled off a miracle of us getting the Whitakers home, because thanks to Robert Mast, another one of Eric's closest, he's described him as my closest friend. These are my best friends. They're close in my heart, all this stuff. So all these three men are best friends with Eric Carroll. I mean, 100% conflict of interest. on top of it all, this John Mass, the one that's the former Amish that's going to get his foot in the door with the Amish and the bishop, well, he's got this foundation here. I think it's whatever. But look, here's the board of directors, and looky, look. There he is, the former Amish that's going to help us to meet the bishop so we can get that Whitaker home. Makes no sense. And as a former, as any human being, shame on you. Because as a former Amish, you know that none of this is necessary. And guess what? Oh, he's got other people on the board too, including, there's Eric Carroll. Eric's also on the board of directors for this. So they're all in cahoots. Now, if you were anything like me, from the minute this Amish cabin in the back 40 story came up, you thought, what are they talking about? That's the stupidest idea ever. Because everybody said, why don't you just put a double wide? Why don't you do this and that? Well, it's got an excuse for everything. It has to be this, nothing but the best for the Whitakers, okay? I'm going to tell you what, a 5-bedroom log cabin built by the Amish, back in the woods, clearing out the woods, all this stuff, adding power, adding sewer, all this stuff, you're talking $1 million. The home itself is going to be $500,000, it'll be $500,000. And then all the other stuff, and I'm going to make a whole nother video about that this could have never, ever, ever been pulled off. Not only that, but this is all a flood zone. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. Now, as you can see, Mark from Soft White Underbelly actually was still on planet Earth in reality here, where what he did, he helped them with what they had. It doesn't involve none of that. You don't need an Amish cabin, but I'm going to tell you that we're going to give the reasons why they say we do need one. But Mark put a new metal roof on here. He put siding on here and some other stuff. Now, I'm going to, like many other people, now there's a lot across the street too, that they could also put a double wide. They had an excuse for everything. But as you can see, now, this is BJ's camper, but this is their yard, okay? Minus the camper and everything. They've got plenty of room to add on an addition. They could put on an addition on that side. They could put on a huge addition. Look at all the property they got. This is a camper that can be moved across the street or whatever. But look at all the room to put on an addition. They could put on 4 more bedrooms, 5 more bedrooms, okay? So for $100,000, which would be raised in a day with what's going on here, they could expand this home. Everybody would have their own bedroom. They could have a new bathroom and everything. And you know what their excuse was for? They said, why, the bathroom's awful. Yeah, it is. They said, why don't you just put a new bathroom in? Do you know what their answer was? Well, we can't because the floor is just really bad. We can't put it. Lorraine needs a shower. So it can't be rebuilt. Well, wait a minute. If it right now can hold a tub full of water, why can't you just put a sprayer handle on it and put a shower chair in the tub? That way she can. We all know what I'm talking about. So are you telling me that bathroom can hold the tub filled with water, but it can't hold a shower? None of it made sense. You know what another excuse they had? They had another excuse where Ray eats with his hands. He's really, really messy. And he just wipes his hands all over the walls. So we need something that's going to be durable. And their solution, I got a cat behind me. And their solution is that they're going to have, Ray will be able to just wipe his hands on the log. The walls are going to be log inside. He'll just, and I'm going to show you the video of it because it's from one of my clips. So all the excuses, they say, oh, the shower won't, you can't have the shower. Ray needs somewhere durable to wipe his hands on the wall, and we all know you could just, put on an addition I worked for years with realtors who would just gut these homes and have them done like brand new. They'd put on additions, all this stuff. It would be done in a month. Beautiful. And if he wipes his hands on everything, put high gloss paint, right? That way you can just wipe it off. But no, it has to be logs on the inside, so if he wipes his hands, he'll be fine. I'm not kidding. They had every dumb excuse that you can imagine. And why? Everything, it has to be a log home. Why? Because what I'm talking about, putting an addition on, and I mean, that $100,000, they'd be living like best in the city, best house around. They would definitely be living higher than anybody around them. It'd be the best probably home they ever had. $100,000 would do it. But if you want to plow your way back through the woods, run power lines, dig sewer lines, put in septics on flooded property in a flood zone, all these other problems, and get $1 million into this, so you can do this for $100,000, or you can do Eric's plan with the log cabin, Amish only, for $1 million. Okay, because that is what it would take, and it still wouldn't happen. But the donations would only be so much if you put on addition and stayed in reality. But if you want to, go off into la la land and come up with this, 24-hour caretakers and security guards and all this nonsense, $1 million put into a home in the back of the property that's not even accessible to anybody. These people, they're too close to the road, says you. Okay, these people here, these people like where they are. They like their home. They like watching the cars go by. But they're always being harassed. By who? They told you like 1 or 2 stories that happen over their lifetime. They act like there's, the LA riots going on in their front yard, you know what I mean? They're constantly being attacked. No, they aren't. Anyway. But staying in reality, you can imagine how nice this would all be. But staying in reality only gets you 100,000. Eric wants over $1 million on this project. And he's got some buddies. His 3 best friends are going to help pull this up. Convince everybody that it has to be an Amish cabin. And by the way, do you know Amish, it's against their religious, and they're very strict about this. They want nothing to do with electricity or anything about it. It's like, they won't touch it. They won't put it up, nothing. And you know what else they won't touch? Permits. They're going to build a building with no permits and no power. Okay, so after all that, $1 million home, you're still going to have to do all that, all of it, plumbing, clearing land, getting in, and it just goes on and on and on. But you know what? This pipe dream, and Eric, even remember, I showed you, he even admitted it was a pipe dream. But this pipe dream of all this other, instead of, doing something practical, it would be amazing, doing something that's a pipe dream and it would never, ever happen, because that's going to get you over $1 million in your pocket. And by the way, while he's doing this, he's getting conservatorship. He's trying to get custody, or whatever they call it, of Lorraine, Timmy, and Ray. And he's finding out who owns the property and where and all this other stuff. When you know what? None of that. What does that have to do with anything? But one thing I've noticed during all this, I've noticed that the more you complicate things, the more money is needed. So something simple, $100,000. Something so horribly complicated, $1 million, $1.5 million. Now, you don't need any friends of the Amish or connections or secret handshake, none of that stuff, to get an Amish builder, if that's what you want to do. So you just Google Amish builders near me. Now, I happen to live in a community with heavy Amish, okay? I know some Amish. They've been to my house a couple times. I've been to their house a couple times. I got my border collie from them. Okay, I've sold stuff to them. They've sold stuff to me. My sister used to drive them around. I know the Amish. And they are very welcoming of business, okay? Because they could only spread the money around them so much. They need outside work. Not need, but you know what I'm saying. They're always welcoming outside work. And so you just have to build, Google Amish builders in your area. Why put in Amish builders near West Virginia Amish builders? Because I know you don't have to know these people. You just walk up to them. They have stores all over the place where they sell stuff or stands, anything, but it's real easy. You just Google, and this is all Eric had to do. If he really, really thought they needed this Amish cabin, why don't you just, Eric, just Google Amish builders near West Virginia. And it says there's an established Amish community near Leetart, West Virginia. While they're skilled builders, you would need to contact them directly to inquire about construction service. Okay. Did it say you need to find an ex-Amish guy so you could go to talk to some people, and those people got to talk to the bishop, and the bishop thinks you're really cool and all that, then they'll okay it. No, none of that. Do you have to fly your friends, 3 friends in from all over the country to your house and rent a Airbnb for 2 weeks, and then all get in a rental car and go to another state and meet the Amish bishop and see if he gets the okay, so he can send his Amish workers and horse and buggies to another state to build a home with no permits and no power? I mean, see how stupid this is? You can just get a hold of them yourself. You don't need somebody to foot in the door bull crap. How to find Amish is easy. I mean, it's 2025. And even if it was 1975, you know what? You could still have done it. You've always been able to get a hold of it. And guess what? There's one right in their area. Here's an article, Holden Sons, trusted Amish in West Virginia. No secret handshakes, no special anything. They build houses. It's not hard. This is right by them. This is all Eric had to do. If you really want one, just do this. Okay, now the sound ain't the greatest on this because I'm whatever. I'm low tech, okay? But in this video here, they're explaining, somebody in the chat said, hey, what was this $4,000 you gave Patrick? And he says, yeah, well, people stepped up to the plate really quick and gave us a lot of money for the Airbnbs. For what? A 5-bedroom Airbnb. So he can fly all his friends in from all over the country to go meet a Amish bishop in another state with a rental car driving 350 miles, I think he said. And by the way, the Amish builders, they were like within 2 hours away. But yet they're going to do all this flying in from all the country, get in a rental car, drive to another state to meet the bishop. Well, actually, first they have to go try to find somebody that will help them introduce them to the bishop. And I'm going to show you something that is going to show how criminal this is. Before this is over, I'm going to show you something. Not only is this ridiculous, but remember their friend, Mark Douche? Remember how he always opens his mouth when he shouldn't? Well, he blew it. He said one thing and blew it. But I'm going to show you that one. And before this is over, I'm going to show you. But I wanted to tell you all that in the beginning. I spent 24 minutes leading up to these clips because I want you to know, before we go into this, how ridiculous this is, how easy it would have been just to put an addition on their house. How cheap and efficient that would have been. And easy, and no, all that other stuff they're doing. No trips, no nothing. Oh, that's right. That's why they're doing it this way. Because he gets trips for all his friends. They had so much money pour in to pull this mission off, to meet a bishop, to fly his friend in, so the friend can go to the Amish, and the Amish can show us to the bishop that he's known all the time. Spoiler alert. Okay, but so much money came in for this secret mission to meet the Amish, to get the Whitakers, the Amish, home, to get the approval. This mission impossible, you might say. So much came in. They had an extra $4,000 to give to Patrick. So imagine how much money came in if he's comfortable enough just to toss Patrick. I get their names mixed up. Eric here got so much money for this convoluted, unnecessary bullcrap Mission Impossible that he had an extra $4,000 to toss to Patrick. You can imagine how much they got. He took a hit.
But people stepped up the plate really quickly. And I went immediately and said, hey, we're good. You did? Yeah, you did. I told people. So Patrick was wanting some help with his house. After I paid for the Airbnb, if there's some money left over, I'll send it over to him so he can get his insulation and stuff. Corey got about $4,000. I wasn't fundraising for it, Patrick. I said, if I got anything that was over what I needed to pull off what was going on, I'd make.
To pull off what was going on. And what is going on? Flying in his friends and doing all this bull crap, this charade, this theater. So you can imagine what he's got.
Sure, I did that.
Oh, by the way, the last trip also 100%, probably $10,000, or I don't know what he spent. Also, all that money spent on the restraining order didn't show up. All the money spent on this, dumb, unnecessary, ridiculous. So all this money he spent, tens of thousands of dollars for the restraining order and the go to try to meet the bishop, all baloney. None of it was true.
With the family, so I put that out there. The trust was something I had from the very beginning.
And here's another thing. And he's opened up trust funds for everything. Listen, these people are pushing 80. They're in their 70s. Timmy's pushing 50. A trust fund? Why do they all need trust funds? Who even has a trust fund? Rockefeller kids. Are we going to put Timmy through college and put Ray through college? What do we need all these trust funds for? Maybe when they have kids and have a family? Why all these trust funds? Why? Oh, that's right, because guess what? Right after this, all this theater here and all this spending tens of thousands for nothing, and then he's going to, at the end of all this, he's going to cancel the house and blame it all on the restraining order. The two things that he just spent probably 40, 50 grand on. Okay, after all this, his plans were to get the conservative or whatever, the adoption papers, as he calls it, for Timmy. Think about this. His plan was, after all this, and he was going to open the floodgates. Remember, it was all going to come true. As soon as they got the bishop to say the okay, Eric was going to open up the floodgates, in his words, and all the donations are going to pour in. Hundreds of thousands of dollars are going to pour in. He said it won't take long and we're going to have all that money. And what else was he planning on doing this same day and within the next couple of days? He's got the adoption papers for Timmy. He's got his birth certificate. He's got his social security card. And he was going to bring Timmy home with him. He said for 2 weeks, but who says he could bring him back? Who said he was going to bring him back? You know what I mean? I've thought of that many times. He was about to bring Timmy home, out of state, over state lines, after he just thinks he just built this. Well, and he did. He built this gigantic case for the adult protection to show how abused Timmy was in that house. So look, I got the adoption papers, I got a trust fund for Timmy, I got all this $1 million coming in for the home. And he was going to go out of state with Timmy. Now, once he's home in Georgia with Timmy, with his Social Security card, his birth certificate, an okay from the mama and the whole family to go with him, and all these built case that Timmy's used at that house, do you think he's bringing Timmy back? It would be really hard, you guys, really hard to bring that golden goose back home, because that's what it is to him. He's a golden goose, his cash cow. He had everything he needed. He's got the AP. He's got the guardianship papers. He's got it all, and they're okay for him to take them. And he convinced everybody the home is abusive anyway. He's got everybody in the chat cheering and telling him to bring him home. So anyway, let's keep listening.
I said if I got anything that was over what I needed to pull off what was going on.
To pull off what was going on.
Sure I did that because I know he had been helping out with the family, so I put that out there. The trust was something I had from the very beginning. We get somebody watches over that account. We have a couple of people over it. The attorney was going to write it up. I'm talking to Robert Dunlap here in West
Never
Virginia.
happened.
After, not only was we supposed to be meeting with Adult Protection Services on that Tuesday, that all the drama went down. After we left there, we were supposed to be going to the attorney.
Here's his excuse why it didn't go in the trust.
And then I could go deposit their money.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Neither of those visits happened.
Right, and that's both of your fault. Both of them.
Yeah.
He had 2 weeks. He was here 3 weeks, maybe in 4 weeks. I don't know. He's been here all month, and he couldn't make it down to the trust place, huh?
Only the trust. When it came to the house, that's going to be a lot of money that's going to need to be raised.
Mm-hmm.
So I would want people to know this is how much we've raised.
Yeah.
And I would want them to know we know what happened with Mark. I'm not in that position anymore. I don't want the Whitakers in that position.
Right.
Patrick don't need to be in there either. The Amish said they love the plan, will become the keepers of the fund, and we actually have a committee.
Look at the conflict of interest here. This is, in my opinion, this is criminal. Because we know darn well, wait a minute, now his friend is going to take the money? His best loved friend and this anonymous bishop, who we don't even know, he's somewhere in Kentucky. We don't know his name, nothing. Just take the word for it. But this anonymous bishop, we don't know, but I guess John Mass knows him. His best friend. So they're all in on this, taking all this money. They're going to become keepers of that GoFundMe. And they don't have a bank.
Said they love the plan, will become the keepers of the fund, and we actually have a committee.
Will become the keepers of the fund. Happens to be somebody else he knows too.
Game that system, guys. No. There would no way.
I think that.
Well, if your friend runs the thing, yeah, there's a way.
I think I became the guy that, took away.
Whatever. Yeah. We got a bunch more here. I'm going to kind of start.
Now, before I play this clip, I just want to remind everybody, when Eric's first trip up here, do you guys remember what he said? He said he's up here and he's got less than $100 in his bank account. Remember that? This is a man who came into this picture desperate with money. When we first saw Eric, he said he's got less than $100 in his pocket and he's afraid his bills are going to bounce in his checking account. He said he's afraid he doesn't have any money when his bills come through. He's got less than $100 on him. Why did you leave home then?
Twice a day. I don't know if you saw that.
By the way, let me introduce this clip here. This is a clip where we need Eric, because Eric knows the ex-Amish guy. And the ex-Amish guy can get us into the Amish store, and the Amish store people can get us to the bishop. You see how ridiculous this is? When you could just Google it. But it makes me angry, you guys, because one, they're robbing people and cheating and scamming these people in front of the whole world. And only a few of us are seeing it. Well, actually, a lot of us. And what I'm really glad about this channel is that there's so many other people who saw this going on, but you can't say anything because you got Guy Smiley here who's covering everything up, laughing his butt off about everything. Now, I'm going to show you an example of that too. But he's in on it. So, yeah, if you ever did try to say anything, forget about it. So, this is the most ridiculous story. Now, you already know none of this is necessary. You don't have to fly friends, and you don't have to spend $5,000, $10,000 on all these flights, and another $5,000 on the Airbnb for 10 days, and all these round trip flights, and all this stuff is ridiculous. Let alone the Amish cabin in the first place. But, all right, but in this clip, yeah, this is the most stupidest story. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna.
Pretty much non-existent. I but like that since I've known him.
Yeah.
Oh, I sped it up because I don't want to
I'm afraid to know what it's
make this video longer than it has to be.
Yeah. Fast forward. Timmy stayed with him yesterday morning. We woke up early. We woke up early. I was late. I was an hour late. And these guys didn't wake me up. And they said, we figured you needed to sleep. And I'm like, no, dude.
This is the day they went and drove to another state to see the Amish.
Because it was raining and everything went perfectly. Mr. Mass, I saw, dude.
Robert Mass.
People, they just start making their own assumptions. I saw people like comment on Robert's picture.
Now, listen to this.
No, my God, not anymore.
Okay, everybody's commenting that this Robert Mass, your buddy here, that's going to try to help us meet the Amish, yeah, he doesn't look Amish at all. And they're like, yeah, I know, he's ex-Amish. Okay. So why would we need him at all? If you needed an Amish person or to an ex-Amish, why would you need an ex-Amish person? Because Robert Mass is no different than you or me. So why would somebody who's already walked away from the Amish community, doesn't look Amish, nothing to do with the Amish, and who knows why he walked away from the Amish community late in life, which is, I've never heard of that, but usually it's early in life. But anyway, he's walked away from the Amish community already, this Robert Mast. And he doesn't look Amish at all. So why do we need him to go into the store? Now they're going to go into this store, an Amish store that anybody can go into. And somehow Robert Mast, who doesn't look Amish and isn't Amish and walked away from the Amish, has a better chance than you and I to talk to these Amish people. This story gets so ridiculous.
Ex-Amish.
Yeah, he doesn't look Amish.
His life is Amish, but he's not anymore.
Yeah, he used to be.
He knew where to go, how to introduce because something that you show up.
Now get this. He knew where to go and how to introduce. You know how ridiculous this is? You don't need to know how to read. Any one of us can go into this Amish store. They sell like bread and cheese and stuff.
Build a house for somebody. There's his labor.
Okay, you hear that? Not just anybody can talk to the Amish, and not just anybody can just walk in and talk to these people. Yes, you can. You can call them on the phone.
He knew where to go.
This Robert Mast, though, Eric's friend,
Not anymore.
Ex-Amish.
he's going to get our foot in the door.
Most of his life is Amish, but he's not anymore. He knew where to go, how to introduce, because something that you show up and say, hey man, I need you to build a house for somebody.
Yeah, you do.
Here's his labor family. You need to build a house.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right there. Let me get my horse and buggy.
Why didn't you just go to the Amish people up the road? Oh, that's right, because those aren't your best friends. And if you did a local Amish company that's in the same state, that's just an hour or two away, you wouldn't make anything. This is what you call a conspiracy. Because see, if Eric would have just called in a double wide, he wouldn't have made no money. If Eric would have just got some local builders to put on an addition, he wouldn't have made any money. If he would have just gone to a local Amish builder and have them do it, he wouldn't make any money. He's only going to make this $1 million if Robert Mast is involved.
I mean, it doesn't quite happen like that.
Yeah, it does.
So,
And why go to another state? They don't even come to another state to work.
and he started talking to the lady, and he bought a whole block of cheese.
Okay, get this. So he goes in, they all go into the store, okay? They got their ex-Amish buddy, Robert Mast. We got Eric here, and we got Mark, the Deuce, all right? Those three walk into this store, and they're going to sit back and watch their ex-Amish friend, Robert Mast, pull off this miracle, okay? They're going to watch him do his magic. So they walked into the store. He says, no, it doesn't. You don't just walk in and talk to these people. Yeah, you do. But they walked into the store. So when we got into the store.
And he started talking to the lady, and he bought a whole block of cheese.
Okay, see his hands? They walked in the store, he started talking to this lady, and he bought a whole block of cheese. So in order to get his foot into the door, because we wouldn't know how to do this, right? If you and I, we wouldn't know how to just walk in there. We didn't know the secret signal was to buy a giant block of cheese. Now, remember, this Robert Mast flew in from Idaho, and he's here for several days. So you're going to believe that he hauled this thing around in the rental car in the Airbnb restaurant and hung on to it all week. They may have nibbled off it, but, Eric did look a little blocked up. And then, mind you, he's got to bring this 40-pound block of cheese on the plane with him. So this buying the cheese thing is supposed to be a muscle flex and a secret signal for these people. Okay, so they go into the Amish store, which is in another state, by the way. I think it was Kentucky or something. So they drove the rental car, go into the store. They stand back and watch the ex-Amish best friend, Robert Mast, do his magic. And so Robert Mast comes in, he started talking to a lady, and he buys this whole block of cheese. It's like a 40-pound block of cheese. It was like $300, but hey, sky's the limit, right? And like I said, he's still got to put this thing on the plane. Imagine, I don't even know if they let you bring that much cheese on a plane, but anyway, still got to bring the thing home on a plane. So I don't buy the cheese story, but anyway, this is the secret knock, is the cheese, okay? Yeah. I guess maybe it's a flex to show how much. You don't even have to look at the price, and you don't buy a little cheese, you buy a lot of cheese, okay? So maybe it was like a secret signal as a money flex. Not sure why he had to buy the cheese. So he started talking to a lady about a whole block of cheese.
I tell there's a strategy and everything going on.
And he could tell there was a strategy and everything going on here. Oh, yeah. That old block of cheese strategy the Amish used. See, we wouldn't have known about that without Eric and Robert Mast. See, Robert Mast used to be Amish, so he knows the secret.
He bought a whole block of cheese.
Cheese signal,
and
yeah.
I could tell there was a strategy.
Oh, yeah.
Going in there.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
And then he started speaking Pennsylvania Dutch. I don't know if anybody is familiar with that. The Amish started with Europe, and so it's actually German, but they call it Pennsylvania Dutch. They have their own dialect.
Okay. This is like a Mission Impossible episode. So they go in, he buys a big block of cheese, and he talks to the guy, and the guy starts talking back in Pennsylvania Dutch, which is German. And the Amish guy says, Einstein's fine, oh, Baza? Okay, guys, here's the part that's going to bust him out. This is going to be an hour video, but here's the part where they all lied, and this is all a lie. Listen carefully. So they bought the block of cheese and all this stuff, and then what happens? That was a signal that they're cool, all right? So,
but they call it Pennsylvania Dutch. They have their own dialect.
So once they did the secret cheese language,
asked for the bishop's name.
Asked for the bishop's name.
And then we did some shopping there. I told everybody about the cookies. Freaking amazing. I'll go back before I leave.
Okay, so they asked for the bishop's name.
You get some more cookies.
Remember that.
Try to be humorous. And
that grocery store was amazing.
Yeah.
You have no clue. I've never seen anything like
That's what got Lorraine's chips.
I have my respect for them, to say the least.
And the lights are running diesel. Just to get that out there for everyone.
Yes.
That's important too. He just said the lights are diesel. Right, because the Amish don't even use gasoline. I know that. I was at their house. They showed me this mill that they run it. Only diesel. They will not use gasoline, only diesel on their property. So they don't have electric, they don't have gasoline, nothing, only diesel. So that was a good point. So imagine Whitaker's having gas lanterns.
Lights are running diesel.
Yeah, the lights do run on diesel.
Yes, well, there you go. Like, the tower that you saw, it was diesel generated.
So,
it was my first time. His house was absolutely amazing. Log cabin. But I could hear water running.
Those tables.
Yeah, dude.
now, did you catch that? It was the first time at his house. I'm going to show you something. Eric's already known this bishop his whole life. This is all a lie. Asked to go see the bishop. He just told you. They had to, well, I don't know if they even told you. Did you get it? They spent 3 days pulling this mission off to meet the bishop. And you know what? Eric already knew that bishop. He's known him for 35 years. You know what? Douche is going to spill the beans accidentally. First, and that makes sense why he said that's the first time I've been to his house. Now, if I just met somebody, somebody sent me, somebody said, hey, here's the bishop. You did this secret cheese handshake. We're going to send you the bishop. And you go over to the bishop's house. Would I go back and say, you know what? That was the first time I was at the bishop's house. No, it's the only time I've been there. But if you've known this guy your whole life and he's got this new house, yeah, and you're going to set up this secret fund at his house that all the GoFundMe goes into this bishop's house, the bishop you've known your whole life, he's the one that's going to have the GoFundMe. He's the one that's going to put it in his own bank that's not a federal bank. He's got his own. You see what's going on here? That money isn't even going to the bank. That money's going to the bishop. I'm going to show you. Eric's known that bishop his whole life. I could show you a lot more right now, but I'm running late. I could go on for hours for this. I could do a live stream sometime. I titled this little clip, He Already Knew the Bishop. Here they're going to walk. Douche is going to spill the beans. Remember I told you every time he opens his mouth, he spills the beans.
All this.
Jeez.
Yeah, we got him.
What's the fidget thing? Yeah.
Oh, here. Wait. Hit the closed caption on it so you can see what they're saying.
Hey,
Oh, there's Douche.
how you doing?
Hey, Douche. Did you hear that? Now, mind you, these are all friends. These three are best friends. And guess what? And the bishop. The bishop. Well, I don't know about the bishop. Yeah. So it's the bishop. If you believe it. Now, if there is a bishop that is known for 35 years, which I suppose, but I don't know if it's like a front man or what it is. But anyway, listen to this. Douche is going to spill the beans.
So you flew in yesterday.
Yeah.
And
Why not?
got the full experience, got a little Amish
Yep.
time in, and then got to go out to the property. For someone that has not experienced that in person, what were your thoughts?
Spill the beans, Douche.
Well, just to be introduced to the Amish is it's not like, hey, anybody know any Amish? And we got.
Yeah, actually it is. I showed at the beginning of this video that you can pick up a phone and call Amish Builder, but go ahead.
It's the relation.
Wow, that must have been amazing. Once in a lifetime opportunity.
He was very special.
And that takes time.
That we set aside.
You see that? They set aside 3 days to pull off this mission impossible. Of what? Going through all these travels and everything else, all this Mission Impossible to meet somebody he's known 35 years.
He was the introduction.
And that takes time.
Mr. Mass was the introduction to the bishop.
And that takes time.
Now remember, Robert Mass, Mark, Dwayne, Eric, Mark, Dwayne, and Robert Mass are all best friends. The bishop is also their fifth best friend. They act like they just pulled off Mission Impossible to meet this bishop, and listen, Douche is going to spill the beans. Go ahead, Douche. Tell him. Keep talking.
We set aside 3 days.
Yeah, 3 days.
For that task alone.
Hey.
We were just fortunate enough because of Mr. Mass's. He knew the bishop from 35 years ago.
Really? Then why did you have to be that? God, why did you have to go to the store, buy the big block of cheese? Why did Robert Mast have to go to the store and buy the big giant block of cheese, a 40-pound block of cheese he has to bring back on the airplane with him, and do the secret handshake and the German language and all that stuff in order to get into the bishop when he's known him for 35 years? And when he slips up, Eric freezes. And he freezes for about 5 minutes because Douche just messed up. They just showed you. They spent a week and going 3 days in that town trying to meet that bishop that they've known for 35 years.
A task alone.
Oh, what a task.
Enough because of Mr. Mass's. He knew the bishop.
Watch Eric's face.
Right.
So without that relationship.
Watch his breathing too.
Right.
And Guy Smiley here.
From 35 years ago.
Right.
Watch Eric. Watch his breathing.
That relationship, I mean, we wouldn't have had.
See him shake his head? No.
Oh yeah.
Watch his body language when Douche spills the beans that they've known this bishop the whole time. The secret handshake cheese deal. You just blew the story, Deuce. Watch Eric's body language when he spills the beans.
Right.
So fortunate enough because of Mr. Mass's. He knew the bishop from 35 years ago.
Right.
So without that relationship, I mean, we wouldn't have had the guarantee of, oh yeah, we'll build you a 5-bedroom log house. So we throw it.
He got off of camera, you guys.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what we always do.
He just told the guy next to him he fucked up. Oops, I'm sorry.
In 2 years.
Right.
Oh.
He's off camera saying he just...
We just want some solar panels. Okay,
see that?
That'll take 2 years.
Right.
It's a whole...
Robert Mast is sitting on the other side of Eric. He just told everybody something he shouldn't have said. Did you see that? I'm going to put a clip. I'm going to put this clip in the description because I know this is a long video and people don't watch long videos, but if you made it this far, I hope you see the conspiracy here. I could show you a whole lot more, but I know it's gone long enough.
So without that relationship, I mean, we wouldn't have had the guarantee of, oh yeah, we'll build you a 5-bedroom log house. So we can throw it for 3 days.
Yeah, we can do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
that's what we always do. That's what we're done for.
I'm from California. You can't even.
By the way, this is another reason they said the Amish should build the house because it can be built in 3 days. A house built in 3 days. I suppose no power, no building permits. I wouldn't even want a tree house built in 3 days. Yeah, in 3 days. Yeah, great.
Solar in 2 years.
Right.
Oh.
Now,
Right.
I'm going to play the part about...
We just want some solar panels. Okay, yeah, that'll take 2 years.
Right.
It's a full house.
They're going to run on solar.
In 3 days, you know.
Built in 3 days.
Yeah, we can do it.
They said average 3 days.
Average
The fastest they had done it was 2.
That would be.
It might be 2 days.
There's specifications, there's special needs specifications too.
Wow.
Just exterior though, but
Yeah.
the reason they were
Exterior.
doing logs
Just
was
exterior.
6x12, because they said with that it was bigger and you wouldn't need any insulation, sheetrock, or it's like put it up and it's done.
Right.
Save a lot of
And it's durable.
and durable. They said Ray could hit the walls, punch it, smear stuff on the walls if he wanted
Easy
to.
to do in the wintertime.
They're logs on the inside. Unfinished house. And Ray can smear all his hands on the logs inside the house. I think I've said enough. So now they're ready to open the GoFundMe, funnel all the money into this bishop that Eric has known for 35 years, his whole life. One of his best friends that he pretended not to know. As Robert Mass, the ex-Amish best friend of Eric, who we were so blessed to have into the picture, because without him, we would not have ever met that bishop that Eric has known for 35 years. Oh, no, he's known. I'm sorry. This is the guy who's known the bishop for 35 years. So this is the guy that bought the block of cheese, pretended he didn't know the bishop, and then when they got there, douche spilled the beans on him when he got back and said, Robert Mass here has known that bishop for 35 years. Yeah, the one that we're going to funnel all the money to, that doesn't have a bank account. And he's going to go home with his block of cheese on the airplane, and he's going to, wait for the money to get funneled into his best friend of 35 years. No conspiracy here. Last clip I'm going to show you.
Just tell me like the overall thing.
Eric, take a breath. Last clip I'm going to show you is where people are saying you're just trying to get guardianship of Timmy and go home with him and get control of the property. And I want to show you how this one here is absolutely involved. His job is to make all these accusations look so ridiculous. So he's going to go over the top laughing, all right, when somebody tells the truth of what's probably really going on here. Watch how, this is his involvement, okay? And I've got many other clips. I told you, I got clips showing you he's involved, but this is one perfect example.
The reason that we are logging the property is because we're wanting to get guardianship of the family so that we can seize their assets and then
watch his reaction.
Out of mind.
We would. What? Get guardianship?
We need to find someone else.
You're kidding. What? Take all the GoFundMe money? What? Take Timmy home to Georgia? Yeah. You know what?
We need to find someone.
That's his over the top. That's what he does every time. And look at the look on his face. Yeah, they're all in on it. And all that GoFundMe, $1 million GoFundMe was going to go into Eric's best friends. So Eric, Dwayne, Douche, John Mast, and the bishop are all 5 very close. Eric's going to do the GoFundMe, and it's going to go right into his very best friends, the bishop, and his unregistered bank account. I know it's been a long one. If you've made it this far, I hope it was worth it. Thanks for watching. Peace.